Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Nuralia Najwa. I'm from the EC6A. My ID is IDI180613. So today we'll be talking about the stratification of W.E.B. Du Bois, an American sociologist who is also known to be the first African American who earned a doctorate at Harvard University. And also Harriet Martineau, a British social theorist, who is often cited as the first female sociologist. So firstly, we'll be categorizing them in their form of stratification. So we can identify that both of these sociologists is considered a social class. Social class means the level of their economic their financials, like the class of their financial, whether they are rich or they are not that wealthy. Okay, so why do I say Du Bois as social class is because what categorize him as a social class is because that his father was his mother was a working class person, and also since the father was not in the picture of the family, she had assistance from her brother and also the neighbors. Secondly is for Martinia is that her father owned a textile mill and her mother was a daughter of a sugar refiner and grocer. Thus, their financial were quite stable and could be considered as wealthy for most of the British families at that time. So secondly, we'll be going to the class of consciousness. We can categorize Du Bois as a proletariat, which means the working class. As I said earlier, his mother was worked to earn money for the family. That is what working class means, working for somebody. So for Martineau, however, initially she was categorized as a bourgeoisie, which means the wealthy. Their family was considered a wealthy family since the father had owned a textile mill, and the mother was also considered coming from a wealthy family. However, at one point in her life, they became a proletariat because her father had had failed the business, had a failed business, so she had to go out and work. That's how she actually became a sociologist. In order to earn money, she started writing, and so their level went down. So next will be the false consciousness. For Du Bois, he believed that he believed with the power of knowledge. What it means is that although he was a proletariat, W.E.B. Du Bois had believed that his intellectual pursuits and his rewarding experience with academic studies could empower the African American with his knowledge. So that had made him motivated to grow bigger and become maybe a bourgeoisie, somebody who somebody in his future. For Martineau, she stepped out of her traditional feminine role to earn the for the family. So Martineau's mother strictly enforced proper feminine behavior, but at the same time she encouraged them to be well read discreetly, however. So despite that, her proper education stopped when she reached adulthood. This conservative behavior had led Martineau to believe that she can do more. And when her family business failed, she saw the opportunity to grow in order to grow as a person with knowledge. So she thought that this is her way out. She can help earn money for the family and at the same time pursue her future. That's what motivated her to as she became a sociologist. So what's the status of these two sociologists is that they both come from an achieved status. Why do I say so? Is because that for Du Bois, he in order for him to pursue his to pursue his knowledge, to get formal education, he had gotten help from his neighbors and childhood church in order to pay for his tuition and living costs at Frisk University. And after finishing that, in order to pursue his degree and his doctorate, he had worked at during summer to fund for his studies. Also, he did apply for scholarships, etc. So you can see that he actually achieved the status rather than ascribe. He was not born into that status. He worked hard for himself. As I said earlier, Martina is also considered as an achieved status. Why do I say so? Is because she needed to work in order to earn money for her family since her father's business failed. So she worked hard. She wrote a lot of her work was published. So her family didn't just give that to her, since she did have to do it since her mother herself was a conservative. So she took the chance and she worked hard for herself. As I've been saying, the prestige of these two two figures are as sociologists. They are very well known as the 20th century sociologists. Next, the socio-economic status. We can see that the status of Du Bois is that he was a working class. He did not have a father, so the mother had to work to take care of the family. And she also got, as I said earlier, she had gotten help from her brother and also the neighbors. What more is that he also had to work in order to earn money in order to fund for his education, formal education. But however, as we can see from the things that I have stated earlier, Martina can be considered as a lower middle class. Since to say like this, a lower middle class is someone who can have formal education and had financial stability. So that is what Martina had. Actually, her brother got to finish school. They can finish school, but however, because she's a female, she's a woman, they chose not to let her finish her education, because women are better to be placed at have a feminine role, right? So, and their financial were actually stable initially, but then the family business failed. Then only they became a working class. She had to work for the family's well-being. Okay. For the poverty line, as said before, Du Bois is a working class because they had to work hard for it. However, for Martina, she was wealthy. Initially, she was a wealthy family, but at one point, she had to work for the family. She used that as a way to become a sociologist. So, next will be the life chances. Du Bois' life chances was very advantageous. He had experienced many hardship during his time as a student. He faced racism. This had led him for him to realize the social classes of African Americans. At one point, he got to be the first African American to earn a PhD from Harvard University. He had taken that experience and put it as an advantage for him. He made social research on it. Next is for Martina. This is very advantageous. It was very advantageous for her. Since she herself quoted, she reflects her success as a writer with her father's business failure. But she described as one of it, she described it as one of the best thing that could happen to us. She had said, only then she could truly live instead of vegetate, meaning that it means that she took the opportunity of his father's business failure and worked for the family, as I said earlier, and that's how she grew to become to be a writer and a sociologist. Okay. Next would be the social mobility. Whether the okay. So, Du Bois, social mobility is vertical mobility. Vertical mobility means the movement of a person to go up or down to the social status hierarchy. So, why I can say this is because from a boy whose community had to help in order to fund for his education. He had worked very hard in order to graduate through Frisk University, Harvard University, and also college, and also Harvard Graduate School. To a point where he was given the opportunity to work with the nation's most prominent social scientists. From when he went from below to up, like he became a prestigious person, and he even gave back to his society and opened up a funded for the NAACP. I think it's NAACP. Sorry. Okay. So next is for Martinia. It's Martinia's social mobility was is considered intergeneralization of mobility, intergeneration mobility. What it means by intergeneration mobility, it refers to any changes in a family social position between generations. So, as I've mentioned many times before, Martina's family got from a bourgeoisie to a proletariat. Her father's business failed, so they had a change of their family had a change of financial stability, had given her an opportunity to pursue her knowledge from being in order to maintain the stability of their financials, she had to work for them. So lastly is the stratification system of these two figures. Du Bois and Martinia are both open system, which is a position of each individual influenced by the person achieve status. They grew as time followed. Due to their achieved status, their position became a higher up. They became well known for it. So that is all from me. I've talked about the stratification of W.E.B. Du Bois and Harriet Martineau. Thank you for your time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.